Here is our first introduction to conditional statements, and that starts with learning about a new data type, which is the Boolean data type. Boolean is a very simple data type. It is composed of only true or false. It can only be one thing or the other. That may sound a lot like binary to you, and that is because it is. That's what it is. So true and false, they are our keywords here. Those are our two Boolean values. So if I just type true, that is class bool for Boolean. So Boolean values, true and false, they come up when we want to evaluate something. So if we say 5 is the same as 3 plus 2, that comes up as true. 5 is the same as 3 plus 8, that comes up as false, because that is obviously not true. Side note here, we use 1 equals for assignment and 2 equals for comparisons. The use of Boolean values is important in data flow. So control flow, I mentioned last time, what we would be doing is basically conditional statements. So let's just see x equals 5. That is a simple statement. That is just assigning the value 5 to x. Now, this is how we start with our conditional statements. If, and this is where it comes up, it starts to feel like programming. If x is 10, then colon print x is 10. And then elif, and that is important, but I will explain why in a minute, x equals 8, print x is 8, elif x is 5, print x is 5, and then else print x is something. Right, what is happening here is it's first of all checking if x is 10. If x is 10, it goes into this block here. This block is indented by 1. You can see it's on a different level to the other statements at the start here. However, x is not 10, x is 5. So it goes to the next if block. And elif just means else if. If x is 10, do this. Else, if x is 8, do this. Else, if x is 5, do this. Else, in general, x is something. So we write the first if block as just a simple conditional, then we write our next conditionals as elif, and then we finish off if none of those previous conditions were true, the else block is run. So let's just run this to see what happens, although it should be fairly simple to work out, I mean. X is 5, and that is simple enough. If I change x to 9 and then run it, it says x is something, because it doesn't actually know. So this is super good for, changing the program depending on something the user has said. So if I say user input equals input, what is your name? So if you remember from previous tutorials, you know that this just outputs what is your name into the console, and this waits for an input from the user, stores it in the variable user input. Now we just say if user input equals Sam, print hi Sam, you have a nice name. think of another name. If user input equals Nick, we'll just say print, hey Nick, you smell. And then we have else. For anyone whose name isn't Sam or Nick, we print, hey, hi there, I don't think I've met you. And we run that. What's your name? And it's now waiting for me to input my name. My name is Callum. Hi there, I don't think I've met you. That's fine. Let's run this again. I've changed my name magically. I'm now Sam. Hi Sam, you have a nice day. So you see that conditional statements start to really feel like programming, because you are actually writing a program that does different things depending on what you say. That is the basis of how conditional statements work, that is how Boolean statements work, and now this is starting to actually feel like programming.